Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Nerdpool News. I am of course Johnny, and this week has been an absolutely insane, crazy week. So without further ado, let's just jump straight on into it. Before we jump into all of the statues and figures that's been up for pre-order and release this week, just want to say if you are enjoying these videos and you are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. And if you'd like anything that's on display here, please hit the thumbs up and maybe consider joining our Facebook group as well. All the links will be down in the description below. We would really appreciate it, and it would really help grow the channel and help me reach more people with this amazing hobby that we all love. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into this week's releases. These are the ones that I know that other companies have confirmed they're actually physically releasing them out. And that is, I'm going to start with Hot Toys with their Rescue 1/6 scale figure from Avengers Endgame. Of course, this is the Iron Man suit that Tony Stark created for Pepper Potts. It is blue, it looks really good. Hot Toys have made this in die cast, and it is currently $410. They are available on Sideshow. They are going to be shipping out in a couple weeks to a couple months time from Sideshow. Hot Toys have just released their blog photos, so if you bought it from a Asian store or directly from Hot Toys, you can expect to get this in hand within the next week or two. But people from Sideshow expect that to start coming in very soon. We also have Iron Studios. They said that they're going to be finally releasing their 1/10 scale Hulkbuster. Now their Hulkbuster comes in at 14.5 inches tall, which is still pretty damn big, even if it is only 1/10 scale. This is a pretty substantially large statue, and they have that up on Sideshow's website for $350, and that is, again, pretty much ready to roll out and start being shipped to people right now. And another one, and this is the big one that's actually physically going into people's hands this week, and that's XM Studios Grimlock. Now, XM Studios are doing a great job with their Transformers line. Grimlock is no exception. The picture that I'm showing you here is from a collector called The Forge Collector over on Instagram. You know, this thing looks amazing. Anybody that's getting hold of this thing is just going to be super happy because it's super detailed. Paintwork looks amazing. As per usual with XM Studios, they've knocked it out of the park. Now we're going to move on to the pre-orders that went up this week. Now we are hot off the heels of Wonderfest from last week, so we've had a bunch of stuff that was revealed and shown off at Wonderfest that went up for pre-order. Specifically, a lot of the stuff went up for pre-order on Spec Fiction, so links to all of those will be down in the description below, as well as any of the other pre-orders that I mentioned here. We're going to start off with Queen Studios Batman on Throne. Now, I did a bit of digging on this. This is actually a variant cover from Dark Knight's Metal 1. I did steal a picture from somebody that posted it in the Batman Statue Collectors Facebook group, so shout out to whoever it is that posted that in there. I appreciate you posting that in there, because it allowed me to steal this and put it on display here so you guys can see what Queen Studios used as their reference art for this statue. Which is something that I pointed out last week, was that I felt that that statue was very out of place, that Batman didn't really suit everything. But with this being directly based off an artwork from a variant cover, I definitely feel like it's a more complete thing, because this actually plays into the history of Batman, as this is a direct recreation of a cover. Now this guy is 95 centimeters tall, so he's a pretty big boy, you know, especially because you've got that dark angel, that like fallen angel on the back of the base, you know, and it is huge. It's about 70 centimeters wide, and it's currently up for $1,850 over on Spec Fiction right now. And they do have another version, a regular version. That one doesn't have the angel on the back, so that does make it a bit smaller and that bit cheaper. And that one is only 75 centimeters tall, and it works out about $500 cheaper, as it's only $1,300. We also had pre-orders open for Queen Studios 1/2 scale Mark 1 Iron Man armor. Now this is currently up for $2,800. For some reason, the prototype was not the official size. It was downscaled. They didn't make it in exact half scale for some reason for their prototype. So I don't have any official dimensions and details for you on that, but it is up for pre-order right now for $2,800. They did also open pre-orders for their Hulkbuster and their Mark 42 Iron Man armor. Now the Hulkbuster I have official dimensions for, and that is 92 centimeters tall and pretty much just as deep, so this is a really big guy. And their Mark 42 is obviously going to be substantially smaller than that. I would put that at around the 60 centimeter tall from what I could see, although I don't have any official dimensions for that, at least I couldn't find any. The Hulkbuster is available for pre-order now at $3,235 from Spec Fiction, and the Queen Studios Mark 43 Iron Man is available for $825. I know I said Mark 42 earlier. It is actually the Mark 43 because this is the Iron Man armor that we saw in Age of Ultron. And then the big one that everybody wants to talk about from Queen Studios is their Catwoman on the back pod. Now this thing is well over 1 meter tall. I think this is, sorry, 1 meter long. It's about 108 centimeters long. So you're going to need a big space to display this. But I think if you are going to have this, this is going to be a centerpiece in most people's collections if they buy this, because it looks incredible. The sculpt on the face, the genuine hair that they're using just to make this the most realistic, lifelike as possible. But of course, with that realism and with that lifelike portrait and that closeness to exactly how it's supposed to be, you are paying for that. Pre-orders are currently going for $3,065. Well, I say they're currently going, but literally this pre-order went up for order on Spec Fiction, I think Saturday or Sunday last week. And by about Wednesday, it already sold out of all of their pre-orders. So currently right now, you cannot order this from Spec Fiction. Hopefully they get more allocated stock to them. So maybe some more will go up. But I'm sure if you do some digging, some other places might have this up for pre-order as well. We also had their Mark 7 Iron Man bust. That went up for pre-order. That one is up for $1,430. It's an Iron Man bust. It's the Mark 7. So this is the one that was seen directly in, I think, Avengers, the first Avengers film. I like it. I think it looks really nice. I'm not a huge Iron Man bust collector, personally myself. If you are, I'm sure this is another one that's going to be an easy pre-order for people. Moving on from what Queen Studios revealed, though, we do have Infinity Studios. They had their Gotenks versus Boo 1/6 scale Dragon Ball Z diorama. That went up for pre-order on Spec Fiction this week. That went up for $915. There's no official dimensions for this one, but based off their previous diorama, which they had of Goku versus Vegeta, that was around 55 centimeters tall, so I would expect this one to be somewhere in that kind of region as well. They also had their Thousand Sunny replica ship from One Piece. That went up for pre-order from Spec Fiction as well. That one is 75 centimeters tall and 65 centimeters wide or long, depending on how you want to display this, and is available for $1,250. We also had Revive Studio show off their Whitebeard statue, which I know, again, I've talked about that in the last video, but this one officially had their pre-orders open. It is 72 centimeters tall. It is 85 centimeters wide, and it is 89 centimeters deep. So this is going to take up a lot of real estate in somebody's collection. This is a big guy, and is available to order now at $1,400. Now remember, all of these stuff, they all have payment plans to make it that little bit easier for you to break down the costs and actually be able to afford these things. And the final one that was shown off at Wonderfest is not something that I personally spoke about last week because I didn't know anything about it, so I had to do a little bit of research, and that was, I believe this is pronounced right, Ain's Ul Gown from Overlord. Now, again, this is not an anime I've watched, but I definitely remember seeing little clips of this guy, and this guy, from what I can see, is absolute badass, and this statue looks amazing. Him on that throne with Arubido, I think I've pronounced that right, stood next to him on the base. It's $2,000, 65 centimeters wide, 54 centimeters deep, and 62 centimeters high. So this is, again, same as that Whitebeard. It's going to take up a lot of real estate. Just the footprint of this statue is just going to take up a lot of space. So make sure that you're allocating enough space in your collection to be able to display these huge pieces like this. Now that's everything that was revealed at Wonderfest that's finally gone up for pre-order. So let's jump into the other stuff that wasn't at Wonderfest that we did get actually finally revealed and gone up for pre-order. Now I'm going to start with Iron Studios' Voldemort statue. This literally got revealed from Iron Studios probably about 10 minutes after I'd finished editing my last Nerdpool news last week on Friday. I didn't have time to get it into the video, so I just uploaded it and plan to talk about it this week. I personally really like this. I think it's a really good looking statue. I think they've done a really good job at making something like Harry Potter fit in with potentially other sort of more realistic movie-based statues that are around. The only thing that's kind of stopping me from pulling the trigger is A, the price, because it's $1,000, and just whether or not we're going to get anything else from Iron Studios for Harry Potter. I can't really think off the top of my head what they could do that would make me really go, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. And just having one random Harry Potter Voldemort statue in my collection, I think just might look a little bit out of place. But nevertheless, this is a 23-inch tall statue. It looks amazing with Nagini wrapped around that base, attacking alongside Voldemort, and it is available for pre-order from Sideshow right now. Also from Iron Studios, we had their 1/10 scale, what I call the Trinity of Marvel, which was Thor, Iron Man and Captain America, all based off their appearances in Avengers Endgame, all around that 9 to 9.5 inch tall range, and they're all three of those are $150. I've spoke out on Iron Studios before. I said how much I love their 1/10 scale. This is no exception. I know a lot of people tend to rag on the portraits, but you've got to remember these are 1/10 scale. These are a lot smaller than regular size statues. They're not quarter scale, they're not 6th scale. So you do struggle to get in a lot of those details on those smaller pieces. I personally think all three of these look really good. And if you're fancying something a little bit more crazy and a little bit more standout in your collection, XM Studios showed off and put up for pre-order their Wonder Woman diorama. This thing is absolutely amazing. I spoke out against this last week when I said about, I think some people are going to struggle to spot the characters that are on there unless you're diehard Wonder Woman fans. I went and did some research to make sure I could actually tell you who is on this. I'm going to read this directly off my list. We have Cheetah, Ares, Cersei, Dr. Poison, Grail, Silver Swan, and Dr. Psycho, all on this base, all trying to attack Wonder Woman. I think it's a really nice looking statue. Again, I don't think it's going to sell as well as the Batman Sanity, because I just think the Rogues Gallery for Batman is a lot more iconic and a lot of people will recognize that more. But this is up for pre-order for $2,720. There is obviously the two options. You've got the fully painted version for all of them, or you do have that marble effect version where all of the villains are in that marble statue sculpture style with just Wonder Woman standing out in full color. We did have a new Star Wars pre-order from Hot Toys, and that was Hunter from the Bad Batch. Now he's apparently the leader of the Bad Batch. Again, I think this looks really good. I always find it interesting that they're doing these animated figures, but they're using more realistic portraits. Obviously, this is supposed to look more along the lines of the guy who plays Boba Fett, because obviously the clones are all based off of him. I think this is going to be something a lot of people are going to buy. I think a lot of people really like the Bad Batch at the moment, and obviously with him being the leader, I can see this doing really well and probably selling out fairly easily. And he is available for pre-order now for $250. Typical Hot Toys kind of prices, especially for their Stormtrooper based figures. Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly jump in here because I realized whilst I was editing this video that I actually forgot to talk about the Hot Toys Black Widow and Taskmaster figures. Both of those are 1/6 scale figures from Hot Toys that just went up for pre-order this week. Both of them I think look pretty okay. Black Widow does have her snowsuit. I actually personally prefer the Taskmaster figure over the Black Widow figure because every time Hot Toys never seems to get Scarlett Johansson's portrait right. But they both come with a bunch of accessories. Both of them are obviously waiting for this launch for Black Widow. I think the fact that the hype is dying down for this film is going to detriment the sale of this figure. But yeah, both of these figures are available now for $250 over on Sideshow. Again, links will be in the description below. We also had a new Cowboy Bebop statue shown off and put up for pre-order from Firstful Figures. They've already made 3 other characters from Cowboy Bebop so far, and this is their 4th statue, which is Ed and Ein. There's 3 different versions for this. You've got the standard version and the exclusive version, where the only difference being is that the exclusive version has LED light ups in Ed's goggles and on the computer, and there is a definitive version which is slightly more expensive, which has a giant bag of mushrooms, which is apparently from a scene where Ed gets absolutely off her nut on these mushrooms and trips out like crazy. The standard and exclusive version is up for pre-order now for $379. That is an early bird special price that they have going until the 30th of June, then it becomes $399.99. And the definitive edition is slightly more, $434.99 before it goes up to $459.99. So there's a $20 to $25 difference between the two prices. The definitive edition has a $25 discount, and the standard and exclusive version has a $20 discount. Another one I want to kind of stop and talk about a little bit more is Sideshow's Storm premium format statue. That went up for pre-order this week. She's 23 inches tall. She's got a pretty wide span as well because she's got her arms out. A lot of people are hating on the hairline because there's a very clear line around her head. It's a very sharp hairline that she's got. I'm hoping that that's something that they'll just fix when they finish off their prototyping and go to production with it. I, for one, am personally not as keen on the base as XM Studios version. We've got that whole water, I think it's water effect that it's got because it's all blue. I think it looks really nice. I think it's really, really amazing. I think it's another one that I think is going to sell really well for Sideshow. I'm just interested that they didn't do an exclusive version. I would have personally preferred an exclusive portrait with the mohawk. And I don't know, the blue on the base is just throwing me. I think I would have preferred more of a white wind effect as opposed to the blue water style. A lot of people are hating on this because it's not a sculpted cape. A lot of people are saying how much they hate mixed media and they don't like the fabric cape. For me, it doesn't really bother me. I like the fabric cape because I can pose it the way I want to, but I can totally see where some people are against this. This is available for pre-order right now for $600. We also have a statue from Pure Arts. Now this is their Ultraman versus Black King Kaiju statue. I don't know a great deal about Ultraman, but I think this is a really, really nice looking statue. I know there's been quite a few Ultraman statues knocking around at the moment. I think Promo Studios have done one, but we've got this one from Pure Arts. I like the way it is. You know, it's clearly a very action pose. He's attacking the Black King. Really, really cool. This one is 18 inches tall, 24 inches wide, and $850 available from Sideshow right now. Weta also showed off a new 1/6 scale statue for their Dark Crystal license that they have. Now, this is not something I'm personally familiar with, but we have Kira the Gelfling. Now, I thought that was a misspell and it was Elfling, but no, apparently it's correct, and the Gelfling is the right word. And this is just below 10 inches tall. Obviously it's 1/6 scale and it is an elf, so elves tend to be smaller, unless of course you're Lord of the Rings, when they're huge. And is $180. And towards the very end of this week, we had Iron Studios open pre-orders for their 1/3 scale Harley Quinn. Now this one's been getting bashed a lot for the portraits. I can certainly see why, especially the fully unmasked portrait. I don't know what it is. It's something about the mouth just seems off to me. People don't like the helmeted version because the weird winky tongue out pose, and some people have been hating on the old school Harley Jester portrait as well. I, for one, if I was to get this, would probably use the old school classic Harley Quinn Jester hat mask version. That one I think is the best looking one of the three. Maybe the helmet version. Definitely wouldn't be using the completely unmasked version. That one is just not nice at all. So I'm really hoping that Iron Studios can go back and tweak that one. But that one is 26 inches tall and is $1,200. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, obviously it's got that carnival style base with that ride-on spring Joker that they've got on the base. She's got the giant oversized mallet. She's got the baseball bat full of batarangs. It's actually a really cool detailed piece, especially with the fact that all the lights on the base do light up. It does have that light up function. All of those little carnival lights around it, they do all light up. If you could get over the portraits, and maybe if Iron Studios tweak the portraits and make them that little bit better, I think this is going to be a really good sort of companion piece to their 1/3 scale Joker that they did a while back. You know, this one is available for pre-order now over at Sideshow and at Iron Studios themselves. And we're going to wrap up this week's pre-orders with an absolute monster from Prime One Studios. This thing is over 1 meter tall, it's over 1 meter wide, and that is their Jetwing Optimus Prime. Now, we know that Prime One Studios are known for their amazing Transformers stuff. This one is no exception. This is apparently the first time they've tried to do any sort of dynamic action pose with their Transformers stuff. So they're getting a little bit more daring, a little bit more risky with what they're doing. This is huge, it's gigantic. It's well over $3,000. It is actually $3,700 available to pre-order now directly from Prime One Studios. They do have a China exclusive version, which it comes with a plaque which says the Transformers on it, And the Chinese version does, of course, have Transformers written in Chinese as opposed to English. Now, there are all the statues that went up for pre-order this week. We did have some teasers of stuff as well. We had XM Studios teased quite a few different things this week. My personal favorite was one they literally teased like basically today or yesterday, was Cable with Hope. Now, I've been reading my way through all of the X-Men stuff, starting from House of M and moving onwards, and Cable and Hope is just one I'm super looking forward to. I'm really excited to see how they do that one. We also had Tweeter Heads showed off too. We had an initial tease of their Wonder Woman 1/6 scale statue. At the time of me recording this, we don't have an official reveal, but we did get an official reveal for their John Stewart Green Lantern. Now, this is one I actually think looks really cool. It is, of course, 1/6 scale, so I'd expect this to be somewhere in the region of 15 to 16 inches tall, maybe slightly less, depending on how thick that base is. We are going to be getting official information and hopefully pre-order information for that next week. So stay tuned to next week's video where we're going to be breaking down that. So there we go, guys. That was everything that we had to talk about this week. There was a lot of stuff there. I think there was like 24, 25 different statues. Yeesh, that was a busy week. I'm hoping maybe next week is not going to be as chaotic and as crazy. But yeah, if there's anything in this video that you're personally getting, that you're looking forward to, or that you've got coming into your collection that I haven't spoken about this week, let me know in the comments down below. Again, if there's something you want to talk about, by all means, come and join the Nerdpool HQ Facebook group. Again, links to all that in the description down below. And if you could subscribe again, would really appreciate that. It helps me grow and it helps me know that you guys are enjoying the content I'm making. So until then, see ya.